Hello, Internet Magic Man here from MMOBomb.com, and today we're taking a first look at another anime MMORPG. I think I'm gonna have to grab a drink and light up a smoke for this one. Let's jump in. We'll spend about 15-20 minutes or so checking the game out, give you some initial thoughts and some of the, that's not what I wanted to do, some of the initial impressions of the game here. I actually wanted to start with character creation, so let's go back and change characters. Alright, so you have 4 classes, which you'll see pop up here as soon as it loads. Perfect. Alright, so we've got our Knight, we've got our Mage or Magician. If you're reading their website, it says Magician, Archer, and our Warrior. Now, yes, they are gender-locked at this time, and JoyMax, the publisher, hasn't really come out and said if they're going to do away with that or not. They're just advertising it as gender-locked at this time. And so these classes do exactly what you would expect them to do. Range DPS, or melee board and sword, or lance over here with them. I've already created an Archer, so let's go ahead with the Mage. And yeah, you're limited by 8 characters, no spaces and no special characters, so you're gonna be pretty limited on some names here. Heads, faces, customization. I mean, I'm gonna buzz through this because there's not really much to speak of. There's 5 preset heads, 5 preset faces. Heads is just your hairstyle. Not sure why it doesn't just say hair. And then you can pick a color out of the color bubbles here. So nothing too extreme. Equipment previews. It's very red mage-ish. It's kind of like a Victoria's Secret red mage artifact gear. Change your mounts. Again, you have 3 to choose from: Pupas or Pupas, however you want to pronounce it. I'm going to go with Pupa just because it sounds a lot less like crap. And then enchant effects changes what's going on my weapon there. So that's good for me. We'll just create the character and jump in here. Yeah, current configuration will work great. Thanks. And we're going to jump into the world. Now, I am going to skip the tutorial. You're going to notice some bugs. It's a closed beta test right now. And this closed beta, I just did air quotes like you could see them. This closed beta means everybody can get in, but as of right now, the recording time of this video, they're limiting the actual dates that you can play. So they'll give you a certain week that you can go in and play, and then they'll take it down for a few things. I'm going to skip the tutorial because there is... Oh, son of a... Alright. I already know. Alright, we're going to do the tutorial, apparently. That's what I get for clicking too fast. Anyway, there's a nasty bug that in the game, and you're going to see quite a few of them. It is in beta testing, obviously. There's a nasty one, though, that only affects random people, and it killed my tutorial. It will put you at a point where if you click on someone to turn in a quest, it won't actually do anything. You won't be able to click, and you won't be able to click the OK or escape button. So you have to hit escape, and it did that on like the 3rd or 4th tutorial quest. So I wasn't able to continue. Right off the bat, I kind of dig the visuals. I mean, yes, it's anime inspired, I guess you would say, but it's got just kind of a different little look to it. I mean, you know, obviously cartoony and whatnot, but I kind of like it. I like the art style. Your movement is very typical WASD. Now, W and S are going to go forward and back. A and S actually pivot your camera, so if you want to strafe, you're going to be using Q and E. However, you can reconfigure those any way you want. And typical, the right mouse button will move your camera, and the left to target things. So So I'm a mage here, so we'll light you up with a... Just have you auto-attack. You'll notice all over the screen there are hotbars for just about everything. These are all emotes over here on the right-hand side. These are your typical bag, inventory, quest type buttons here. These are your trade, invite to party stuff. Mage ability level increase. We're going to talk about that in a minute. These are going to be the controls for my Pupa, which I don't have yet. We'll get that in the tutorial here. You know what? Yeah, we're gonna skip. Yeah, just get out of the tutorial. So there's a couple aspects of this game that we do have to talk about while I'm sitting here and questing, and this is an example of a Pupa. And I'm skipping the cutscenes just to save time so you guys can see some actual gameplay. Look, the font's cut off. Good old beta. And we do have hyperclick, so just click on where you want to go in the quest and it will take you there. So, obviously you've seen by now, you have your typical experience bar down here at the bottom. It gives you a level, it even puts like the version 0.9 when you fill up past the 90% bar and each time. Now, don't pay attention to really how fast you level in the beta. If you look, you have massive experience events going on right now where you're getting upwards of 300% of your normal experience. So I'm going to be tested by the guards. Questing is your typical go here, kill some of these, come on back. While we're headed over there, I know in my bag I have a rookie sack item that gives me a mount, so we will bring that out. Gives me 100 gold, and that makes my inventory bigger. Perfecto. Alright, so while we're fighting there, I'm going to take a look at the ability tree. So, you level your character, but you can also level the actual abilities. This is what determines these abilities that you're leveling. Am I getting pummeled by something? No, that's somebody else. These abilities levels here actually determine what abilities you can spend points in. As you can see, right now it's showing level 4 because my mage is level 4. And so I can unlock any of the abilities that are fully within the green bar. And as my mage abilities go up, for instance, I have 2 job points. Training requires 2 job points. So I can train that, and it starts to go up. Now, if I get that up one more level, I'll be able to put points in these. Now, these spells I already learned, so let's drag them into the action bar. And I have some skill points, so we'll level each of them up once. Oh, apparently I only had 1. So you'll notice that you do see the other classes here. Well, what the hell is that for? The way this works is if you look at your equipment, you have a primary weapon and then a secondary equipment. So, if you want to be a mage, but also carry a sword, like a knight, you can do that. You have to spend points to level knight abilities so that you can move your way throughout the tree if there's specific skills that you want to get. But by equipping that secondary sword and spending points in the tree, you'll be able to acquire knight abilities as well. Now, that does not mean that you can bypass the gender locking and make a female mage here and then convert it to a knight. It just means that you can equip your secondary weapon as the knight's weapon. You will not be able to equip the knight's weapons as your main weapon. I hate this, and I know there's going to be people that don't care about this, and I know why it's here, obviously. I mean, they're trying to use it to avoid botting and things like that, which is that's just ducky. But this is really annoying having to do this. If you don't do this by the time the counter goes down, you will it'll give you a 2-minute warning and it'll count down 2 minutes again. And if you don't click it, it will actually disconnect you. So 7, what do we got? 7, 5, 8, 7. Yay, I entered the right code. I'm able to play my free-to-play game. Okay, so you already see we have one pupa. And now I'm not going to do the quests because they're just a bunch of reading, but I am going to show you what goes on. You can pick up these eggs throughout the world, and then you walk very slowly. I don't think I can mount with that, can I? Oh, that's my pupa. I didn't bring the mount out. Where is he? There it is. Perfect. Mount right off the bat. You gotta love that. Yeah, you can't do it while you're carrying an egg. So now you get to walk really slow while you're carrying an egg and go all the way back to these pupa masters that'll basically pact the animals with you, and then you can use them, as you've seen this bunny helping me out. They follow you around and they help you in combat. You have your typical controls where you can set them to passive and whatnot. Now, for those of you familiar with the, what was that old series called? Monster Rancher series of console games. There's also a feature in here where you can do that same type of thing, fuse different pupa together to try to create different combinations and different powers, things like that, different strengths and stats and whatnot. A lot of the events that they're running in the closed beta have to do with, you know, gaining a certain number of these things and hatching them, and it's so annoying to have to do this slow walk. The players on the server have dubbed this the walk of shame. I just want to get to the building over there. There's someone who needs help, basically telling me there is a quest nearby that you can pick up. Come on, get there, get there. Okay, now you have a quest for me, but it's just the tutorial for what I'm showing you, so we'll skip it. This is the fusion stuff that I told you about, where you can merge two pupae together. But we're not going to do that. We want to actually get a pact with this pupa. And it'll drop the egg, and we'll hatch and find out what the heck I have here. I'm a master of the wisp. Look at that. Now, there's also, besides being able to fuse them together, besides being able to use them as companions to attack and everything, we're going to mount up here. There's another aspect of the pupas that help out as well. If you feed them, they have a bar, and we'll pull up the pupa. They have this Panta bar here. And if you feed them, which the tutorial quest will show you what their foods are, if you feed them and you fill this up to 100%, you can click create, and it creates Panta. So I'm thinking it's kind of, you know, pupa poop. I don't know. You got to feed them and then you make it, and then all of a sudden it hatches behind them. And what you do with it is you can take it to a pupa, another pupa NPC, and you can use it like sockets. There's armor and there's weapon types, and they'll give you different plus stats to your equipment. So the pupas play a pretty important role in just about everything you do, from combat to upgrading your gear and everything. One thing I do dig, and I'm sure a lot of you will dig about the game here, is this. Mounted combat. I find it interesting. I guess it would be what? Because your character is staying still on the mount, in theory. I can't cast while walking myself, but riding a tiger I have no problem casting. Although you've got 2 tanks and 2 ranged roles in the game right now, there is no dedicated healer. Although the mage does get some healing abilities. Since we're not going to be leveled up enough to show them to you, I did a little bit of research on dungeons, and they've got a couple different types of dungeons, from solo play to group play to mounted multiplayer play. And it seemed a little bit interesting in the respect that depending on things you do in the actual instance, the way you run the dungeon will change. They're trying to keep it a little dynamic. Oh, we need 2 more of these. I'm not going to loot any of these things. So you just find these eggs sitting there. They could be anything. In closed beta, I know some of you will ask, so in closed beta, the level cap is 24. However, that is not the level cap of the game. That's just, they don't want you to, in their words, stress out about reaching level cap. The game has so far, at least, again, in the beta, been pretty good about just tossing you rewards for basically just playing the game. And I'm sure these are the types of things that will slow down, obviously, because you get them when you level. I think that was something I could... Oh, that chalk revives a pupa if it's dead. Okay. Alright, so we went through our mail. And we'll auto-travel. Kind of digging the wisp pupa. Everything else I had was so far on... This, or my other character, has just been, you know, ground-based rabbits and stuff like that. I say we go check out Fusion, since you've pretty much got the gist of questing. And what it's gonna be like. I'm a pretty strong fellow, even though I'm a woman. You can still call me fellow, I guess. I'm sure women love being called fellow. Can I equip any of that stuff yet? Level required too. This may just be one of my own pet peeves, but if it's one of yours, then please tell me so that I know that Magic Man isn't out there all alone. I'm sure you've noticed by now in the quest text and in the quest text and in the chat panel here, I hate when it's just not quite set right, and the fonts are, what the hell? Just want to have fun. Wow. I hate when the fonts aren't set right and you get this overlap right here, merchant on the next line. It's just, I don't know. It just annoys me. It's one of my little pet peeves. If nobody else cares, then hey, fine. All right, so let's try and merge some pupa since we have 2. Let's put our little bunny in this side. Dismiss summoning pupa for pupa fusion. For crying out loud, where is dismiss? Come back, feed, revival, change. Let's put you down here. Where's my wisp icon? There it is. How do I, where are you? It is dismissed. Alright, so let's see if we can merge these things. Oh, in chat, Magician is doing a facepalm right now. Alright, so we'll have the... Now let's switch that. We'll have the bunny be absorbed into... Pupa level to be reinforced should be 15 or higher. Okay. Well, we got some time. Not gonna be able to do that for a while. We do have ability points to spend, so let's do that while we auto-travel. So I've got 4 job points. Now Mage, getting that to 10. Now I have full access to this tier here. Skill point. Skill point. Haven't learned it. I have now. A multi-bullet fire. The captain's 3rd test. Yes, I know where I'm supposed to go. And I will walk all the way over there. We're going to head over to here. There'll be a little portal for us to walk through, and we'll be in our own little instanced zone for me and then my party for this particular quest. So far, it hasn't done a ton of that. I'm assuming, though, that it's going to be something more, but for the most part, you're in this little persistent world with everything around you. Pretty big map, too, and this is just the Forest of Heroes. Take a look at the world map, so you've basically got 3 of those zones. And are you ready for the challenge of the quest? Where? I don't know where these lizards are. Oh, I'm in a room full of nothing but the lizards. Okay, let's do it. Is this an AoE? No, it's just more damage. I do like being able to be mounted, and I think it'll be interesting when you hit the dungeons to see what exactly they're doing. That, you know, what type of dungeons you're running. That it's multiplayer and you have to be mounted. And then there are, of course, your boss type quests where you've got to kill stronger monsters. Overall, questing is, you know, standard fare. There's a couple things I like about the game. I mean, obviously, I'm not a fan of things like tutorial quests and starting zone quests bugging out. I mean, I do give you... I should be looting these. I do give you a little bit of leeway because it's a closed beta, but then I also got to look at it as like, okay, it is a closed beta, but these are the first quests that your potential customers are going to be exposed to. They should probably have been tested very, very well internally. And on their forums, they say it's a random bug that causes it. They don't know why certain people get it, so it's definitely something they've got to work out. Cosmetically, I want them to work out the fonts. But gameplay-wise, obviously, from my tone at the beginning of the video, I'm sick of anime MMORPGs. I just really am, and I think a lot of you are too, because they come out every day. I'm doing a first look for some anime MMORPG. It feels like. However, I actually did have fun playing this, and it wasn't the Pupa, because I wasn't far enough along to really start fusing them, but I would get addicted to that. I did like the Monster Rancher series of games, so I could definitely see liking that. I like the whole mounted combat, and it plays smoothly. It really does, despite the little flaws in... Oh, that's right, I reached so he could train me about mounting. I think I got that. Mom had the mounting talk with me when I was 8. I was probably a little older than that. Anyway, back to real life. The game plays smoothly. I do really like the art style. Like I said, it's anime, I guess, inspired, but it's just got a little bit of a different look to it. I am now diligent. And you do have PvP as well. Like right out here, we could challenge people to duels if we wanted to, and then there is structured PvP. So all in all, my final word on this one would be, if watching this video, you walk away with one thing that you think is kind of interesting that you'd like to explore more, the game is definitely worth trying out then. If you're just so bloody sick of anime, MMOs, then, you know, you're probably not going to give this one a shot. However, I would say, if you've got just one thing on here that you're like, oh, I like the way the pupas work, or I like how they can, you know, do stuff to your gear, or whatever the case may be. If there's one thing that you think, oh, that's kind of neat, give it a shot. It plays smoothly. I did have fun. The community, for the most part, is nice, although there's not a ton of players in here right now. I will give you a little piece of advice, though. If you have questions like the abilities and stuff, like this took a little bit of research to figure out exactly how it worked, because initially I thought, okay, well, maybe you could use it to get around the gender locking. You know, roll a mage and then start carrying knight things. Go to their Facebook page. They only have the guides on their Facebook page. They don't have them on their official website. So you have to go to their Facebook page, and then the guides will give you a better idea of some of the game mechanics than the actual website does, which I think is a bit counterproductive, but that's okay. So guys, that's pretty much Night Age in a nutshell. Joymax. What do you think? Put your comments below. If you've played it, let me know what you liked about it. What didn't you like? Am I crazy about the font bugging me? And is that just me being weird? Put your comments below. Make sure you rate, you comment, you subscribe. Come on over to MMOBomb.com. Check out all the other great shows we've got going there for you. The free-to-play cast, free-to-play weekly, League of Legends Champions, and some more shows upcoming. And spend some time with us on the forums. We'd love to hang out and chat with you. Until next time, guys, stay safe. I'll see you on the servers.